Good evening. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, everybody. Tuesday Night Live. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome. We have, what's today? The 16th? Is it? I'm trying to look it on my count. 9 days till Christmas. I don't know why I did this. That's not nine, but 9 days till Christmas. Let me turn this down over here. Are you ready for are you ready for Christmas? I mean, have you gotten your food, your gifts, your travel plans, is your house clean? You know where you're going? Do you know who is coming to you? I'd love to know. Anybody traveling for Christmas? I am not. People come to me. Yay. So I don't have to travel. I just have to clean up. I got to clean up the place. I thought it was slightly clean, and then I started cleaning baseboards and mirrors and walls, and I'm like, I got some more work to do. But welcome everyone to, I almost said Saturday. I guess I'm wishing for Saturday. Tuesday Night Live. We have got a lot to talk about when it comes to cruise news and cruising. Hello, Tiffany. I see you in the house. Right. Gifts, but no food. Yeah. I have some gifts, but I'm certainly not finished yet. And the grocery shopping, that's coming up. But we can order stuff. So if you are here in the house tonight, please do drop in. Give me info about your Christmas and let me know where you are viewing from. I am so glad to have you in the house tonight. Okay, as I stated, I've got some cruise news to discuss with you, some updates about some other things, and some fun stuff as well. We try to make it fun as well when we're doing live. So, deep breath. Let me get a drink of water, and we're going to jump into these cruise news stories. How's everybody doing? I didn't sleep the greatest. Hello, I see you from El Paso. Thank you for joining tonight. I appreciate it. I didn't sleep the greatest last night, so after the live, I plan to eat and go to bed. What about you? I lay down sometimes and I start having all these thoughts. That's not the right time to be having a bunch of thoughts. Once you're in the bed under the covers, that's the time you're supposed to go. My mind goes like, Cynthia, you should do this. And what about that? Did you do? Chill and relax. I'm going to go to bed soon after the live. But let's talk cruise news. I have some stories for you tonight. So I'm going to start off the first one talking about our friend Carnival and this wildly popular thing that they have announced. So they're going to expand it, right? If it works, do it. Carnival expands adults only cruises for 2026. So as we all know, if you are a cruise fan, or even if you're not, there's not a whole bunch of cruise lines, especially mainstream ones, that are adults only. Virgin Voyages has like the top spot there. They are the official, the one, the go-to one that you think of for adults only. All right. Well, Carnival said, let's try it. So let me tell you about what Carnival is doing, because they offered something and people like it. People like it. They love it. So for 2026, Carnival is going to give us more of it. It says here that they will now be offering more adult sailings, adults only sailings. So they're going to do 2 transatlantic sailings and 1 one Mediterranean voyage, and then 1 Caribbean itinerary. So which one would you pick? Would you pick the transatlantic? Would you pick the Mediterranean, or would you pick the Caribbean? I think it's time to go back to the Mediterranean for me. That would be a lot of fun. Sailings are very limited and they are expected to sell out. So let me tell you about them. This is following on their very popular first ever adults only sailings over the past few months. Carnival has announced more SEA cruises, much to the delight of guests. These new and I've only been drinking water, y'all, I promise. And Dr. Pepper. Sea cruises are only on select dates. We're going to talk about the dates, and bookings are limited. Once again, if you need help with these, the best thing that I'm going to tell you to do is book early. Book early, because things are going to sell out. And also that gives you the best pick of the room. So if you're at all interested and you need help with this, drop your information down below. I can always help you with that. Okay, so let me tell you, it says here that John Held said, we are excited to be hosting some additional adults only cruises next year. So John Held, of course, is the brand ambassador. This instant offer lets eager cruisers register for free or log in if you already have a VIFP, which is a very important fun person number. So the ships involved in this will be the Carnival Glory, the Carnival Dream, and the Carnival Paradise. They're all going to be offering these SEA, these adults only cruises, because these cruises are capacity limited and only available on certain sailings. They believe it'll sell out and sell out quickly. Once space is filled, the available sailings are then going to be removed from the options. Okay. So let me give you some more information in case you're getting excited about this adults only cruise. Carnival Dream, February 16th, departing from Galveston, as well as Carnival Glory, March 10th, departing from Port Canaveral. Both of these sailings are 15-night. Ooh, that sounds good already. Transatlantic cruises that will end in Barcelona. So leaving out of Galveston and Port Canaveral, ending in Barcelona. Along the way, Carnival Dream will visit Bermuda, Gibraltar, Malta, Alicante, while Carnival Glory will visit Ponta Delgada. I haven't even heard of that one. Funchal, Cadiz, Malaga, and Alicante. Beautiful. These two were selected because those are, the long one-way voyages. And a lot of times on one-way voyages, there's a lot less children on board anyway. And you can understand the reasons why it would be. First of all, they're usually longer than 10 days or so. So getting the kids out of school that long would be prohibitive. And then one-way voyages where you have to maybe foot the bill to get from one country back to the other with the airplane. You can understand why less kids would be on those. So that's one way. This means that it will be easier to shift any existing bookings for guests who cannot qualify for what are now adults only sailing. So if you were a family and you thought you were going to go on that cruise, there's time to get it adjusted. Okay. Those sound like great itineraries. I love it. I love it. Yeah. The Caribbean or the Mediterranean. Yep. Carnival Glory, March 25th of 2026. So these are coming up soon, like February, March. She will be doing a European sailing following this crossing. Okay. Carnival Paradise. They're going to be doing a 10-day Caribbean cruise. This will be departing from Tampa on April 13th, and it will visit Key West, Grand Turk, Amber Cove, Montego Bay, and Grand Cayman. So you have to sign up. It says here, if you're interested in this, guests need to sign up for this exclusive offer by January 6th. So that's like, 3 weeks away? Yeah, they're not giving you a whole bunch of time. It is possible, they say, that additional itineraries will be offered, but just don't hold your breath on that. Just jump on what they're going to offer if you're at all interested. Now, it does say here, not all guests are happy, Some Carnival guests are really thrilled about this, but not all of them. It says all during February through April works out great for educators. So they're being, facetious. Educators who are in school during those months, well, they're not excited about this. Another one says a person gets on social media and says, why is West Coast always forgotten about? Is that true? Anybody sail out of the West Coast a lot of times? Do you also feel like they don't do West Coast sailings very often? Yeah. They're still evolving, they say. Extra casino offers are going to be popular on these sea cruises. It says they're going to have a lot more adult-themed comedy. Here's the thing that I always wondered, and I would love to not necessarily debate it, but let's talk about it. When you say adult comedy, does it mean raunchy? Does adult equal raunch? I understand that adult probably means some F-bombs might be dropped, you're going to curse and all that, but, what is adult comedy? Because I would love to go, to the adult comedy, but sometimes I'm just like, it's just raunchy. What's so funny about that? I don't know. I know many people do not agree with that. You let me know. What is adult comedy? But they're going to have more of it. And then other onboard activities, especially geared for adult fun. So I don't know. What's adult fun? But do these interest you at all? Having adults only cruising on Carnival Cruise Lines? It seems like a lot of people are interested. I don't know. And if you could give me a heart, a thumbs up, thumb it up, let people know that, hey, it's come on in. The water's fine over here. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and drop your comments down below. I'm excited. I don't necessarily think I'm going to plan an adults only cruise aboard a Carnival cruise ship for next year. Thank you very much. It's a good option, but I don't necessarily think, it's going to move the needle to go on a Carnival adults only cruise, but you never know. I like trying out cruising. So, all right, Carnival, do your thing. Do your thing. All right. I would love to know, though. I see some of you are saying, yep, I would definitely do it. Definitely do it. I'm just checking out which story do I want to jump to next. And I have the wail of sirens going by. Hopefully you can't hear that. Let's talk about Norwegian Cruise Lines. How about that? This gets me excited because it's close to home. They're up the street in Galveston. If Galveston was really just up the street from me, my employer probably would have a lot of talks with me because I would be on a cruise ship. Anyway, let's talk about the Norwegian Viva. It debuts in Galveston. Yay! Yay. It says here the Norwegian Viva arrived at the port of Galveston for its inaugural season in Texas. That happened on just December 13th, so just 3 days ago. This kicks off a series of cruises out of the Caribbean or to the Caribbean out of Galveston. Have you ever sailed on Norwegian? The very first time that we sailed on Norwegian was many years ago. The ship has been gone for a long time, but it was an adventure. I took my children. They were very young. And I remember my son at the time. It was quite funny. It was midnight buffet, and not all cruise lines, I guess, still do that, but it was time for the midnight buffet. And we're like, all right, everybody, let's get dressed and let's get out the door so we can go to the midnight buffet. And it was midnight chocolate buffet, right? You guys remember what I'm talking about? Anybody still do midnight buffets, midnight chocolate buffets? You know what I'm talking about? All right. So we're all getting dressed, and my son, who, by the way, is an officer in the military, was like, Mom, I can't move. He was laying in the bed, right? And I was like, come on, God, come on. We're getting ready to go have chocolate at midnight. You got to do it, right? And he was like drugged. He was sitting there like, ugh. And he didn't go. I left him in the bed as we went to do the midnight chocolate buffet. Now, the funny thing is my mom was there as well. And my mom is notorious for falling asleep early. She is an early to bed, early to rise woman, has been all her life, right? So midnight, that's a no for her. But she was strong and she persevered and pushed through, and she went to the midnight buffet, and my son didn't. Now, she was at the midnight buffet like this, but she was there. You ever done a midnight buffet? Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Hello, Travel Cake Trip. I see you. And I'm glad I popped up. Thank you for popping in. Okay, so the Norwegian Viva has arrived in Galveston for their inaugural, for their summer. It's not summer, it's winter. I said summer because I think it's going to be 77 tomorrow or something crazy like that here in Texas. Anyway, all right. According to the company, the 2023 built vessel arrives at its new home port, and they will be doing sailings out of Galveston every week. So we're excited about that. This will extend all the way through April of 2026. They're going to be expanding their offerings, they say, in Galveston. We'd like to have some year-round presence from you, Norwegian. Everybody come on down here. It's okay. It says as part of this 14-day voyage, which I love it. I'm really starting to enjoy longer voyages. What about you? What's the longest voyage that you have been on for your cruise? Was it too long? Was it just right? Or was it long enough? I'm talking to you like we're Goldilocks, right? The three bears. The longest that we have been on is a 14-day. And I'm going to say it was just right, but really I could have stayed longer. It was dynamite. Okay, so this 14-day cruise out of Galveston, which will happen on January 10th, will visit some really nice places. Let me tell you where they're going. They're going to be going to St. Thomas, St. John's, Antigua, Philipsburg, St. Martin, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, Mexico, and Great Stirrup Key. Sounds like fun to me. Okay, the longest was 7 days, but yeah, a 14-day or a 21-day. I know I can do a 14. Did it with no problem. 21, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's do it. Oh man, I could. I watch a lot of people now on YouTube who actually live on cruise ships, and I sit there and I just think, could I? And then I watch one lady, she lives on cruise ships 50% of the time. She talks about her casino offers, how she said, I haven't paid for a cruise in 9 years. And I'm like, ooh, nice. And she does it, by doing her casino comps. Now, all of us could argue you're paying every time you push that button in the casino, but if you're a gambler anyway, hey, yeah, could you live on a cruise ship? Yeah. I could. There was a question in the chat that said, who could be on a cruise for 3 weeks? If I had another hand, I'd raise that too. Let me see. Hold on a second. Me. When you enjoy something, you enjoy it. You want to do it. You want more of it. I could definitely. The entertainment, you unpack once and you are in different, it feels like different worlds, different countries, different islands, different regions, different nations. You get to experience a different food, a different scenery, wonderful music, great entertainment. It is fascinating. It is great. You get to sit back and look at those beautiful, expansive sea views. And that's the time when you can think and reminisce, and it's so peaceful. And then you get to stop at a different port and visit a country or an island or a community that you only maybe heard of or read about, try their food, listen to their music, understand their language. I could do it all day long, all day long. Yep, yep, yep. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, during its first visit to Galveston, this Prima class ship, have you been on the Prima class yet? Docked at the port's new cruise terminal 16, which is a 165,000 square foot terminal. It opened in November and I was there. And it is beautiful. It still had that new cruise terminal smell. Oh, it was nice, 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 nice. Opening this terminal has allowed Norwegian Cruise Lines to expand its presence in Galveston, and we're happy about it. The beautiful Norwegian Viva allows our cruisers the opportunity to experience a world-class cruise ship. All right, all right. We want world-class cruise ships. This will be the 2026-27 winter season. So if you cruise out of Galveston, now is the time. If you're trying to get on a Norwegian ship, we can do a Prima class ship right out of Galveston. And they have some really nice itineraries. So the closest airport, it's either Hobby or what's the other one there in Houston? Somebody help me. It's Hobby's one of them. And then there's the other airport in Houston. But that's still going to give you a 45-minute drive if you jump on the plane to Houston. Still got about 45 minutes or so to get on over to Galveston. Yep. But a lot of people do Houston. Yep. And, it is time probably for us to get back on a Norwegian cruise ship. We certainly haven't been on the new Prima class. So it's time to try Norwegian again. And since you're up here, might as well. Yep. All right. I want to talk to you now. I got a lot of cruise news and then some updates. But you know what? Before I jump into this, let me give you this update. Hold on. I got to decline something. There we go. Let me do it here. This multitasking. I have phones and tablets and computers and lights. Ooh, my head's on a swivel. Okay. I've talked to you about the Anna Kepner story. I'm going to ask you if you know what I'm talking about. I've talked to you about the two stories on Royal Caribbean. The one entitled "Young Man Who Decided to Spit in the Lifeguard's Face and then swing and punch the crew members," and then the other gentleman who last year he was got intoxicated. Now it's coming out that he had 33 drinks in the span of just a very short time, and kind of went wild on the cruise ship, kicking, yelling, screaming, and the crew like tackled him. It's now being stated that they gave him some kind of injection to calm him down and he died. Um, I haven't gotten any updates to that story, to those stories either, but I still wanted to know your thoughts on that. And then, of course, Anna Kempner, she was found on the Carnival Horizon murdered. I can say that now. You know, when you talk about these kind of things, you have to say alleged. And it wasn't alleged. She was murdered. She didn't kill herself. They thought, well, was it suicide? How do you commit suicide? By getting strangling yourself and then getting under the bed and putting life jackets and blankets over you. She was murdered. And it's just a whole wild mess for that family dynamic and that blended family. It's terrible. It's terrible. So it looks like they will be going to court, the family. Now, a lot of this court battle hasn't been to do with the death of Anna Kepner. It's been to do with the child custody case between the stepmother and her ex-husband. But those are the only updates I have right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at text messages that are popping up. Tell me about the drink package. I've never purchased the drink package, but I can understand the thought if I spend hundreds of dollars on a drink package, because it usually comes out to be hundreds, I want to get my money's worth. If I can get 15 drinks a day, or let's say I can get unlimited, I'm going to try to get as much as I can. Is that the thought that comes in to our minds? Get all I can all I get. I'm on here for 6 days, 10, 7 days. I'm going to drink everything that I can find. Or do you kind of like moderate yourself because you want to taste them and you want to try new things and you want to be aware? Could you imagine drinking 33 drinks? I'm thinking ever in a 24-hour period, but just in a few hours. Could you imagine how that would? Yeah. And what I thought about, because I pondered this story, because the family is suing, saying that Royal Caribbean staff knew that this person was intoxicated visibly. They saw it and they continued to serve him and serve him. And, you know, I don't know how those laws go, but I thought to myself, well, the family didn't stop him, but they thought that the staff should stop him. And I get it, I guess, that, you know, I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? The family didn't, but the staff was supposed to. They're supposed to. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts about that story. Those are just the updates. Let me tell you about this next cruise news story. Radiation warning. What would you do if you're having a great time aboard your cruise ship and you stumble across a sign that says, warning, big yellow sign, radiation or radioactive, or my gosh. Have you ever done that on the cruise ship? Well, I'm going to tell you about a story where a person did, and they were notably so, and probably should be, nervous. It says a cruiser on board Carnival Adventure noticed a radiation warning sign on board. I have to tell you, in all my years of cruising, I have never noticed a radiation sign on board. And it would have startled me too. I would have been like, what am I seeing? Anybody know what I'm talking about? It said that this sign was most likely blocking an area at the stern of the ship that contains a docking radar. Cruise guests are safe. It says here, you do not have to worry about radiation exposure as long as they obey the sign. And I'm going to get into what the sign says. Let me just make sure I'm looking at my chat. It says, yeah, no one wants to take responsibility or accountability for their actions. Responsibility goes to the bar. Okay. They should have known better than, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get you. I get you. It is the responsibility. And that's what it all boils down to. Was it the responsibility of Royal Caribbean? Is it the responsibility of the person drinking the drinks, the family who was there? Where does it eventually fall? Yeah, I see. 33 drinks seems a lot to drink and to be served. Yeah, I don't even understand how a person could ingest 33 drinks without like vomiting or it's terrible. I got you. All right, radiation, it says here, can be a very scary thing to see on your cruise ship. You think of MRIs or you don't think of a cruise ship, but the sign is there. So this was aboard a Carnival Adventure, and the person found it, and then they took to social media because that's what you do, and they asked, "What is this?" I found a radiation warning on the back of the Carnival Adventure, and I want to know what causes this. But if you don't know, you ask. That's how you find out, right? They posted this on Reddit. It included the picture of this yellow warning sign at the front of this blocked off area toward the back or the aft of the ship. So Carnival Cruise Lines, they have not explicitly confirmed this, but this area is most likely what they're telling us, a docking radar. So let me tell you what this is. Docking radars are typically positioned on the stern and the bow, and they're used to provide precise distance, speed, and angle measurements to the bridge to help vessels dock safely while visiting ports of call. So they're there all the time. I guess it's just been well protected or well hidden, and people don't necessarily notice them. I don't know. Somebody explained this should be the stern docking radar, and that's the one generally likely to be accessible from the promenade deck. It says, just as long as you stay back from where it's blocked off, no problem at all. But I've never seen this. I should have pulled up the picture so you can see. Carnival hasn't necessarily said it, but it says it seems likely that the 26,000 guest ship only just relaunched as the Carnival Adventure earlier this year with the purpose of sailing around Australia and New Zealand. So that's where this ship was sailing from. Unless you ignore the warning sign, which unfortunately some people do, and stand directly in front of the device, they do not need to worry about exposure to radiation. So it says cruise ships use what's called a form of non-ionizing radiation, and that emits electromagnetic fields, which comes with a very low risk to people. So we should feel confident. And I mean, cruise ships are doing everything that they can to keep us on their ships, keep us happy on their ships and safe. But, there's certain things that they also have to do. So it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. I'm probably going to do a little bit more digging into that. But as long as you don't stand like right in front of it for prolonged periods of time, no problem. Yeah. Then I'm just looking at some of the other comments. It says the curved piece at the top should block the main beam path. At least you get right up close to it. So bottom line, if you see a caution sign aboard the cruise ship and it says radioactive or radiation, just go away. It shouldn't be harmful to us, but just, do what the sign is saying. Caution, step back, whatever. But I thought that was interesting. Anybody ever seen a sign like that aboard their cruise ship? This was aboard the Carnival Adventure. All right. Yeah, so we don't have to worry. One less thing to worry about when we're on our cruise. We don't need to be worrying about radiation. Okay, let me tell you some more cruise new stuff. What's your next cruise? I am waiting to get a call back from my travel agency to board a Disney cruise ship. I've never done Disney. I'm very much excited to do Disney, and I know that I will probably be a mushy mess. I will be crying half the time. Have you ever done Disney? Disney is also now here in Galveston, doing some Christmas sailings and things of that nature, winter sailings. I am looking to be one of the travel agents that get to do a Disney sailing very soon. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I see some say Disney is overrated. This is what I say. Try it before you buy it. Try it out. Yeah. I would love to do it. I started watching some Disney videos. The new Disney Destiny has just come out, and it's getting rave reviews, even by people who don't do a bunch of cruising. Disney is expensive, and Disney is niche. It's niche. Not everyone is going to want to do the Disney and do, what Disney has to offer. But I have said this so many times before. I am a cruiser. I enjoy cruising. So I want to try Disney just like I want to try Regent Seven Seas. I want to try different cruise ships. I want to say I've cruised on 33 different brands. I'm looking forward to it. And then I can give you an unbiased, fair, take on what it is. It's just a different flavor. It's a different vibe. Think of it like fruit, you know. Some are strawberries, some are blueberries, some are bananas, some are apples. Some people don't like apples, so don't eat apples. I like fruit. So there's only a few fruits I don't like. What fruit? I'm not a fan of mango or guava. So there you go. Yep. Okay. Let me talk to you about, I'm all over the place. IT issues that has stopped a cruise ship from sailing. None of us want that. The last thing any of us want, you've paid your money, you've waited for your time, and now it's boarding day. And then you get a notice about your ship is going to be delayed, or you don't want to hear it. But unfortunately, that is what has happened to some people who were sailing aboard the Carnival Firenze. And as of right now, according to this news story, they still haven't left. Let me tell you about it. IT issues has caused the Carnival Firenze to be stuck right there in Long Beach. The Carnival Firenze has to delay its Monday departure, that was yesterday, Monday, from Long Beach due to issues related to the vessel's IT system. Now, this was a 6-night cruise to the Mexican Riviera, and the ship was originally set to depart from California on December 15th. But these technology issues has prevented them from sailing. So the Firenze has remained docked overnight. And as of today, Tuesday afternoon, it was still docked in Long Beach. Now, if any of you know if it's left, it's Tuesday evening. Did it leave this evening? Right now, I'm seeing it's still there. Carnival's brand ambassador, John Hild, confirmed the issue in a social media post, and he said that services on board are still being offered as usual. And that's good. You know, they've opened up everything and things are running, but when you're still in port, not everything is able to go. You know, casinos aren't open and some restrictions possibly on your drinks and things of that nature. So, yeah, that it's terrible. They're trying to do all they can to keep people happy, but you're like, you're taking one day away from my cruise. None of us want that. And I'm sure there'll be compensation of some sort, but let me read on and see what they're going to do. It says it is internet connectivity. That's what's going on. And I know the teams are working very hard, but I can also say without doubt that the guests are having so much fun. That's what John Hild said. Yeah. So this itinerary for this 6-day cruise, they're supposed to go over to Ensenada and have an overnight stay in Cabo San Lucas. So I'm pretty sure that's going to change. According to reports from guests, the visit to Ensenada is expected to be canceled due to the delayed departure from Long Beach. There's about 4,200 guests aboard the vessel. It doesn't say here if they are going to be giving them any type of compensation, but I'm sure they'll do something. Onboard credit, something, right? What would you say would be reasonable compensation? What would you want? Yeah, this is the fun ship that's Italian style. We're going to go on the Venezia soon. I haven't tried Carnival's fun Italian style yet. We're going to try it out. I would be a bit upset, disappointed, but I would still try to have the best time that I could, because a day on a cruise ship that's delayed at the dock is still better than a day at work. That's my take. Yeah, I don't know, like I said, if they're going to get any compensation, but probably the Ensenada trip will be canceled. I don't like it. Who does, right? We want smooth sailing with our cruises. Fun, great food, entertainment. Yeah. I was talking to some of my cruise partners and I asked them, if you had to pick one thing about cruising that does it for you, like I picked cruising because of this, what would it be? I know what my answer is. Is it the itineraries, the accommodations, the food, the staff, the entertainment? What is it? For me, believe it or not, it's the entertainment. You know, all cruisers are not created equal, but this is what I'm saying. If we get on a cruise ship, they're all ships that are going to float away and take us somewhere. And all of us will have accommodations and all of us will be fed. But it's the entertainment that really does it for me. Now, of course, the staff. How am I being treated? Are the staff, upbeat, lively, engaging? Do they listen to you? Do you feel like they are, responsive, respectful, fun, attentive? Yes, but what's on board the ship? How are you going to keep me entertained? I love all of those entertainment choices. I love it. I can go to trivia. I can do a dance contest. I could go to a casino. I could just sit out and watch the world go by. I can hear live music. I can go to a spa. I can go shopping and 25 other things. This is the time where I could like invest in a specialty dining and get food that maybe I hadn't had before. What does it for you? Let's see. We pick cruising for the ability to relax. Oh gosh, yes. No cooking, no cleaning, and just having some together time. I love it. Absolutely. I've said to my family recently, we should cruise for Christmas because there's so many moving parts to Christmas. What are we going to cook? What are we? And I said, why don't we just leave that up to the cruise line? Just pay the money and let them cook, let them entertain us. We can relax. We can have as much fun as we want because those are precious moments. It is so much fun. And then you get to meet some really good people. I hear you. I'm with you on that. I want to relax and enjoy myself. I went on a 14-day cruise, came home, found another cruise that was like for $300 for 7 days on MSC, and turned back around and 8, 9, 10 days later got on another one. I had just changed jobs and I needed to do something to calm me down, relax. So I hear you. I like the ports of call, relaxation, and I am a trivia loving fool on cruises. I like trivia too. I don't know that I'm good at it, but I sure will try. I was listening to a song on the radio the other day and I was like, oh, I should write this down because that sounds like one of those trivia songs. Yeah, I enjoy my trivia as well. Let me get back into the cruise news before I go off the rails. Let me tell you about MSC. And I have a video coming out all about the MSC's brand new World Atlantic. So MSC is doing things and they're doing them big. They're really trying to grab this market here in America. They have, exceptional cruise ships. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now they are understanding what Americans like, what kind of food we like, what kind of entertainment we like, because that was like the big issue that so many people had with MSC. So now they're like, okay, we've heard you. We got you. And they're changing things up. Their ships are absolutely spectacular and their prices usually can't be beat. Well, they have put out their world-class ships, right? And these ships rival some of the best ones on any other cruise line. World America, World Asia, I think it is. I have to think of the names. But the newest ship coming out is the World Atlantic. Although they just announced, and that'll be another cruise story, they are building 3 more ships because they're doing it. They're doing it. MSC, have you traveled aboard an MSC cruise ship? And would you? I've done it twice and I'm going to do it again. Let me tell you about MSC. They have announced a new class of mega ships with an adventurous name. So they are like, this is working so well for us. We're going to do a whole new class. So this is past the world class. Let me read this here. Cruise fans love a new ship. That is true. Cruise fans really love a new ship class. That is true. And this week, MSC Cruises have given us the thing that we love. They just announced that it's launching an entirely new ship platform, and it's called New Frontier. So let's talk about what's in New Frontier. This is going to be a brand new class of cruise ships that will start arriving in 2030. So what, 4 years from now? 4 ships are officially on order. Go ahead, MSC. With 2 more potentially waiting in the wings. Let's see, it says, despite the bold name and at a moment when cruise lines are building everything from XXL floating cruise cities to some are going with smaller vessels. They are for like river cruising, such as Celebrity. These are still unmistakably going to be huge megaships. So we're still talking about the big, big boys. This is what this will be. It says each new frontier ship will carry about 5,400 passengers. So it's not as big as like a Royal Caribbean's, of the seas, but it's still pretty big. So it's definitely mega ship category. It makes it significantly larger than some of the like Princess Cruises, the Sphere class ships. Those carry about 4,300. At the same time, New Frontier won't reach the extreme scale of the industry's biggest ship. MSC's own world-class ships like MSC World America, they carry about 6,700 passengers. So a little bit smaller than their world class, right? And definitely smaller than Royal Caribbean's 10,000. So the New Frontier sits between traditional large ships and today's floating cities. It's still a huge ship, but not like the biggest at sea. So according to the press statement, this MSC Cruise executive chairman, let me see if I can say his name. It's very European. Pierre Francesco. That's like three names for his first name. Pierre Francesco Vago says the New Frontier class is about rethinking design and technology rather than just trying to build the biggest ship in the world. Okay, is he coming after Royal? The New Frontier class will enable us to design new and exclusive itineraries, offer exceptional guest experience, and it's going to feature what he calls next generation environmental technologies. Net zero commitment by 2050. Okay. Let me see what else. They're going to be built at the Meyer Werft shipyard. Let's see what else. They're going to have LNG, that liquefied natural gas. They don't give a whole bunch of details. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see about what this New Frontier is going to offer. I'm going to put out a video either tomorrow or the next day to show you what the World Atlantic has to offer, and it's lovely. It's got a new design, this Y-shaped design that makes it intriguing, these angles of the ship. It doesn't give us the information here about what the New Frontier will offer. But still, I'm intrigued. A new class of ship coming out, not super huge, but very big. Are you going to try an MSC cruise? Or have you already tried an MSC cruise? Would you get on this New Frontier? I need to know more about it. They're teasing me right now. Give me more information, MSC. Yeah. I see. Reg Mack says doing MSC for the first time in March on the Seascape and planning to do the World Atlantic. Yes, out of Port Canaveral when they open the bookings for the rest of 2028. Yes. Yes. Sounds lovely to me. The Seascape was my first MSC cruise, and I was hooked. That was it. And I got the room for a ridiculously low price, and it was a balcony. And yeah, MSC, I'm hooked. Yes, we have been on MSC Meraviglia and the MSC Seashore. They have first-class entertainment. Yep. You know, travel cake trips, that's probably why I like it so much, because the entertainment kind of blew me away. You know, Royal Caribbean is famous for their entertainment, and I'm not taking anything away from them. Stellar entertainment, but the entertainment aboard the Seascape was so good. It was so good. The accommodations were so good. The staff was so friendly, and I enjoyed the food. I had no issue with the food. So kudos to you, MSC. Keep making ships, and I'll keep giving you my money. That's my answer. Mm-hmm. So my last cruise news story, and kind of the discussion that I want to talk to you about, has to do with larger cruise rooms. My family, I have a son and a daughter, and both of my kids have 4 kids. So I'm a grandmother to many. But when they plan out trips, they have to do it so differently. And as a travel advisor, I help them sometimes, so I understand. Because rooms don't accommodate like 6 people easily, a standard hotel room. And neither does a standard, cruise room. Cruise cabin, you have to get like a suite or something. But what if this family is trying to still, you have 4 kids, but you're not trying to take out a second mortgage to get that cruise room? Is there a cruise ship that's good for accommodating large families, just like we have to look for special hotel rooms to accommodate large families. And I don't know whoever thought that the parents want to sleep with their kids. We don't. We don't. But a room that's large enough to accommodate for, two, three, four kids. Well, I did a little research and we found some. So I wanted to ask you, do you ever travel with a large group? Sometimes we do, and it does start to get a little tricky. You have to get two rooms, or you have to spend, triple the amount because you got to get the top suite or something like that. But maybe not. So let me tell you what I found here. It says cruising with a family of 5 or 6. Check out these cabins because there are some out there that accommodate larger families. All right. Several cruise ships and cruise lines offer cabins and rooms for 5 guests and even 6. And we're going to talk about that. But a lot of times the information is not readily available. Even as a travel advisor, I have to dig. I have to call, and it's not like you can't just, if you go on, excuse me, most mainstream cruise lines and you try to book that, you have to call or you have to book 2 rooms, to get that information. Is there something to accommodate, for my instance, the example I gave you, 2 adults, 4 kids? Let's read on. So the great news is there is. However, you do have to search. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat. Hold on a second. Dr. Pepper incoming. Yeah. So we have looked it up, and here is the answer. Royal Caribbean, Disney, and Norwegian. Those are going to be your top 3 picks if for any reason you're going to be traveling with like a larger group and you need just one room that doesn't completely break the bank. Of course, that's relative because Disney is a little more expensive. But let's talk about it. Those are going to be your best performing ones. Let me give you some information. Disney Cruise Lines. The Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy ships have deluxe family ocean view staterooms. These have a queen size bed, a convertible sofa, a pull down bunk, and a wall pull down bed. Now, once you get that all configured, it's going to be a tight squeeze. You're not going to have a whole bunch of room to walk through, but you can do that in one room that's not like, the deluxe owner suite. Royal Caribbean, let me tell you about them. They're Oasis class ships, including the Symphony of the Seas and the Harmony of the Seas. These have family ocean view staterooms with 2 twin beds that convert to a king size bed, a sofa that converts to a double bed, and 2 Pullman beds. Plus, Icon of the Seas offers the family infinite ocean view balcony, and that can accommodate up to 6 people. So that's pretty good. And as you know, the Icon of the Seas, I've got to pitch this every time, I guess, is coming to Galveston. Not soon enough, not to 27, but they're coming finally. Okay, Norwegian Cruise Lines. The Norwegian Getaway and the NCL Breakaway have family ocean view staterooms. Some even have a separate living area, which I love. That include a sofa bed and a dining table, a separate bedroom, lovely, with a king size bed, and a second bedroom with a single bed and a bunk bed. So 2 thumbs up. Kudos to you, Norwegian. I love it. Carnival. They have on the Dream and on the Vista, they have family harbor staterooms. They also have that on the XL class ships. These can accommodate up to 5 guests with 2 twin beds that convert to a king size bed, and then a sofa bed and a pull down bed. And then MSC Cruises, the Seaside, the Sea View, they also have the family cabins that have double beds, 2 single beds, and a sofa bed. This can accommodate up to 6. So we've gotten up to 6 that can be accommodated in these rooms without you having to, get the largest suite aboard the ship. Anybody, is this something that any of you have to deal with? Let me look at this. I know Reg Mac 5041 says, I know that the MSC Seascape has rooms for 6 because we almost booked one before settling for 2 separate rooms of stay. Okay. See, that's good to know. Okay, I understand the logistics of it, and they are trying to make money, right? They're trying to get as many people in these rooms as they possibly can, and they want you. If you're a larger family, they want you to actually have to get two rooms. But I'm glad that there are still ships that know that they need to accommodate, just like they need to accommodate people who have special needs or handicap accessible. They need to accommodate larger families, not make them, have to get two rooms if they don't want it, or have to get the master biggest room on the ship, because everybody can't afford that. And if what you want is to get the people aboard the ship, you have to be able to, accommodate them. So I'm glad to hear that. We haven't had an opportunity. I haven't been on a cruise with my grandkids yet. I am so looking forward to doing that. I really want to cruise with them, and they're like, "Gee, Mama, take us." I would love to. But if any of us are traveling with a large group, and anytime that I book a group, we block off a certain amount of cabins, and inevitably there will be a family who's like, "Well, I have six," and a lot of times we have to break them up into two with that connecting door, which is an option, and I do everything I can to make sure that it's the most affordable option, but there you go. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at all of my notes here, making sure that I've given you everything and taking a look at all of this. I think I've actually given all of the cruise news that I wanted to discuss for tonight. I am going to be on live next Tuesday as well. Um, I'll clean the house up afterwards. But we're all getting ready for the Christmas holiday. My mother's birthday is Christmas. So we have the celebration, and then we have a birthday party afterwards. Anybody else have relatives that their birthdays are like on Christmas or very close? My mom taught us early, you must do a separate celebration. It's not like Christmas birthday. No. Yeah. We don't mind. We don't mind. All right. I am going to give you a couple minutes back because I'm hungry and I'm sleepy. I am so glad that you joined me tonight for the cruise news. I hope that you have already subscribed to the channel. Please do share this with anybody that enjoys cruising, cruise news, traveling. Also, check me out on TikTok. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok, a little different because TikTok's a different animal, but check me out over there. And take a look at what we have to offer there in the channel. Lots of travel goodies and travel accessories, all right there. Let me see. Yay! Travel Cake Trips. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and welcome to the family. I love it. I love it. Hope to see you on a cruise sometime soon. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Love you. Thank you. And I will catch you next Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Bye.